If you write your thesis first and then your main ideas don't support your thesis, then you got to go back and redo your main ideas. But if you work with your main ideas first, you can sort of put something together for a thesis at the end that's consistent with those. So we're going to talk about some main ideas here about practice. So just give me some words that come to mind when you think of practice. Give me 5 to 10 words.
Should I type them out or should I just
Yeah,
say them?
yeah. If you can, and let's just do
Okay.
this quietly. So just put them in the chat whenever you got that ready.
All right, I just sent you 5 words in the chat.
Give me just a moment to look at those. If more come to mind, please, please add them to the list. Um, what I wanted to do with this list create create maybe some main ideas that
Mhm.
we'll be able to work through. This exercise was really designed as a free write for you. So repetition. Okay. Can you give me an example of repetition? Something that you
can I use like an example from when I do practice?
Yeah, exactly. Because I think this is going to be about skating. I mean that's kind of where we're
All right.
going with this. Yes.
And I think a good example of repetition is um after you do a spin on the ice, if your coach doesn't like it, she makes you do it again until you get it right. I think I've done the same spin in one class 3 times.
Okay, when you say a spin, I mean, we're talking 180? Are we talking like just a complete
360,
spin?
360.
360, sorry, 360 spin on the ice, just one rotation. Is that right?
Yeah, no, well, when it's like more than 360, it's like 3 rotations is like the max to make it a legit spin.
Okay, so it's got to be 3 rotations. All right. Okay. And
Yeah.
what are some things that um like what's a I don't to ask this. What's a good what's the characteristics of a good spin versus a bad spin?
Um,
What's the
you have
difference
to be
between
on a proper edge. You have to be centered. Um, you don't fall. You have to make
okay.
sure you're tight because the spin is on the ice and you have to make it look nice in a way. Like tightness means you'll go faster basically.
Okay. Um well anything that like I know that you could just say the opposite for like bad spin, but is there anything that's maybe more specific to a bad spin?
Well, I can think of a few things, but they're like there's a spin called a camel spin. It's basically where you're spinning with one leg like lifted really high up. If your leg isn't lifted high up, it looks awful and it doesn't count for anything, basically.
It's a camel spin, leg high up. Um,
Um,
All right.
I think another, it's like obviously if you fall on your spin, you get deducted. So I would consider that like on the
So,
bad
so
side of the
so
spinning.
let's not to focus on like points or anything like that. Let's just focus on the practice. Now like how many spins would you normally practice? Um, how many like is it the kind of thing where you can do like oh do it over and over? Because the thing I keep coming back to is don't you get dizzy?
I do. I'm not
Okay.
a spinner. I'm more of a jumper type person. I like jumping more because spinning makes me very dizzy.
Okay.
You get
So
used to it. It's just not fun.
all right. So your coach makes you do it again, and that's what I was kind of wondering. Like, okay, you do the spin, it doesn't go right. Like, do you take up? Do you just immediately do it again, or do you do a
No,
lap
she
around
gives
the?
me advice and she's like, she usually to me is like, you had it. What went wrong? Do it again because I know you can do better, basically.
Okay. Um. All right. So just some words of encouragement.
Yeah.
But do you just get right back out there and do it again, or do you? I mean, what's the?
She lets me take a breather because the when I get out of a spin, I'm extremely dizzy. I like stop what I'm doing for maybe like 5 seconds and then I go again.
All right. Okay. Um. So you gave me the word practice, which doesn't count towards the words that you associate with practice. You'll have to find another word. You can maybe start thinking about that.
Okay.
Let's talk about mistakes. What did you mean by mistakes?
Well, sometimes you can make a decent I would consider like just baby mistakes. Like you can do something on the wrong edge or you mess up and you fall basically just little mistakes, not like big deal. Um
Okay.
trying to think of what else, but I can't think of anything on the top of my head.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. What are you practicing for?
I'm working, well, a lot of people practice for competitions. I just work on my technique and want to be better
Okay,
before like
but are you planning to do a competition at some point? Even if it's
um
not right away. I mean, it could be way down the road.
maybe, yeah.
Okay. Um, so I think that is an important thing to include in this, especially with sports. Um, Competition is kind of a key element of sports, meaning like y especially at your age, as an adult, sometimes you just do something for the enjoyment of it. But
Yeah.
as a kid, I mean, you tend to be more focused on that. Now, I mean, I don't know this world at all, other than I mean, what I've seen at the Olympics and the U.S. Figure Skating Championships. Are there scholarships available for ice skaters?
I don't know actually. I don't know about that. I
Okay,
think there are, but I'm not sure.
okay. So let's just keep in mind, let's just say for a moment that you were working towards a competition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How do the mistakes help you or hurt you?
If let's say you mess up during your routine and practice, you basically take notes of what you done wrong, and then you run through it again until you feel like it's gotten better, basically. It's like you keep repeating until you feel satisfied with what you've done.
Um, Now who's satisfied, you or the coach?
Most of the time it's my coach. Sometimes I won't feel satisfied with my stuff, but my coach then like encourages me and says, "No, no, no, that was good. You did a good job."
Okay. Um, So I feel like rehearsal and walkthrough are kind of the same. Um,
Yeah,
and they're kind of related to I think what you're talking about here, which is your routine. But let me throw some words at you. Um, time.
time works, yeah.
What what component does time play into practice?
Time, I don't know actually. Hold on, I'm thinking.
Well, give me a rough idea of how much time you spend practicing.
I practice usually for an hour to 2 hours
A day, a week, a month? Like, give me more
a day.
specifics.
I skate like 5 to 4 times in a week.
Okay, so let's say 5 hours of ice time a week, but is that it? Or do you have other practice? Like do you spend time with a trainer? Do you
I
visualize your
spend time
performances?
I spend time with a trainer, and then I take some classes there too because they provide classes as well.
Right. So like in total, how many hours a week do you feel like you're dedicating to this sport
Hmm, I feel like I'm
in a week?
dedicating in a week,
Yeah.
maybe like 4 hours because I right now I'm skating only for an hour. So like yeah.
Well, what I'm suggesting is that you maybe spend more time than just the ice time. Like you may be thinking about it on the drive there. You may be visualizing. You may be reading about it on the internet. You may be practicing physical fitness.
Yeah, I do off ice and stuff.
So how
I
much total
stretch.
time? Yeah, how much total time is that?
I would say like 30 minutes because it doesn't take that long.
Like you're kind of trivializing what you're doing. Like I and I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm trying to get you to like give me a realistic number of how much time you spend on this. Because from what I understand, it's very important to you.
Yeah.
And it's like me, it's more than just the 5 hours of ice time. Like that's maybe what is the actual practice, but like there's a lot of time that you're spending getting there, getting back, thinking about it throughout the week. I mean, I didn't have YouTube when I was playing sports growing up, but I mean I'd be all over that now, watching videos beyond.
Yeah.
So like how
Um,
many total hours do you think you spend? And you can include all the time you spend, stretching, personal trainer, thinking about it. I mean, it's okay if it's a lot.
yeah, I know. For off ice, it does really just take me like 30 minutes. I don't do it all the time. I do it maybe like occasionally 2 times a week if I really because I don't stretch a lot because sometimes I'm not really warmed up or I just don't feel like it. Another thing is with practice, I work sometimes with my coach like maybe 45 minutes and then I do the rest by myself. And if I have extra time and I see one of my friends there, I'll talk with them because we both work on our technique sometimes together.
Okay. So give me a number. Give me a number. How many hours, a week? Because I think it's a lot more than 5.
Maybe like how much more than five? Do you think like 7 hours exactly?
Well, I mean, people spend 7 hours a week just eating food. Like we're trying to make the argument that you're spending a lot of time practicing, which you're kind of not making that argument by what you're saying.
Mm.
And that's okay.
Maybe
I mean, that's totally
yeah.
okay. I mean, maybe we rework it, but like when you make an argument, like I thought my perception was that you spend like any hours you're not, in school or like um, sleeping or eating like you're thinking about it, you want to do it, you get out there, I don't know, maybe you're going to the free skates, maybe you're in the training room, like this is like everything to you. Maybe I'm wrong,
I
but
I
that's
would
that's where
be
I was.
doing that more. It's just that school is usually the number one priority before I can do anything else.
What about in the summer when you're not doing school or another time? Like, are you spending more
I'm
time?
in the summer I'm in Europe and I train there like every single day for like an hour. Like the off ice classes there are an hour, everything's an hour there. For
So it's not more time during the summer.
not more time during the summer, no, because I'm away. I go to the skating camp in the summer and everything there is usually like a lot. We do ballet there for an hour, off ice like for a whole week.
Okay. So let's use that as the example. Yeah, you said the ballet camp or
No,
or
it's
the
skating camp.
skating camp with ballet. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a good example. Like, and you would say it's like is it like an all day, all the time?
Yeah, it was every single day. Yeah.
Okay. Because here's the question I'm really trying to get you to answer, which is um to improve, do you spend so do you how much time does it take to improve?
Mm, this is I have to think about this question.
Well, the answer should be, and I don't, I'm gonna interrupt you because we got to get to actually get some writing in. And I'm doing as much as possible here before you have to jump in. Um, uh, the my from my experience, like let's just say, do you bowl? Have you ever been bowling?
Yeah, I have. I like
Okay.
bowling.
Okay. So usually the first time you go bowling, you're terrible. It's just it's not that good. But if you were to go like every day and spend like 8 hours a day there bowling, do you think you would get better?
Yeah,
Why? Why would you get better?
because you're spending time there and you're working on how to improve and you're working on your technique.
Right. There's like what's called a direct correlation between time and performance. So more time equals more performance. And that's what we're trying to say here. We're trying to say that when you practice more, you get better. And this happens, I mean, unless you're practicing the wrong stuff, this happens almost always. Would
Hmm.
you agree with that? Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like it could be throwing darts, it could be anything that's a competition. I mean, can you think of anything where the more time you spend, the worse you get at it?
No.
Right. And um the thing that helps to make it perfect, you've already mentioned this, is with a coach. That's really important. An expert in the field. Right? Like if you were just out skating doing whatever you want, what would be the result?
I
Would you
would,
get better?
yeah.
Some to some degree, but at some point you need help. Because if you were just skating on your own, you might start just making up your own spins, um, things like that, right?
Yeah.
Or you might like not push yourself as hard. All right. So the time is important, but it's got to be the right time.
Yeah. I would
Okay.
agree with that.
So uh the the um thing I wanted to get to next is the physical conditioning. Like it's hard to practice if you're not in good shape. That's what I was kind of asking about with like the training and like sometimes you want to practice, but you just can't because you physically can't. And maybe like at your age you don't understand that because you're always fresh. But is that true? Like, do you always feel your best when you're out there working, ice skating? Do you
Yeah.
always feel like you're, and that's great. That's awesome. Do you ever see things like with injuries?
Yes, one time I had a bruised knee for
And what,
two
and could you,
weeks.
2 weeks out, right?
Yeah, but the thing was is that I didn't even do anything bad to fall. Sometimes with skating, you can fall in the weirdest ways possible. I tripped on my blade in a way on the ice, and I fell face first, and I hit my knee. And then the same thing happened to my right knee 2 weeks later.
And so when you play sports, you're going to get injured at some point. Like this is just normal. Like it just happens. I mean,
Yes,
it's
I I used to do taekwondo, and I've twisted my ankle from that sport maybe 3 times.
okay. So how can you avoid injury? Like what can you do to make this less likely?
I feel like every single time you fall on the ice, you just know what not to do, even though
Okay.
it just like you just take a mental note. Even though it's there's still a chance that you're still going to fall, you're just going to try your best to prevent it.
Okay, so let's talk about some more like common things like stretching. Um, there's things you can do like making sure that you've eaten food wise, like making sure your food's good. Um, not be rushing.
Yeah,
There's some like obvious things that you can do. Um, if you have been away from the sport, this is where a lot of the injuries occur is when you go back too quickly.
I took a break skating for like 2 months, and I got back on the ice maybe 2 weeks ago. It was not a fun time because it feels like you know what to do. It's just that the muscle memory just
You know, your
is there, then your body just kind of forgets what to do.
your body doesn't want to do it.
Yeah, I've almost
Body,
fallen just trying to get on the ice because I've tripped on my blades twice.
I get it.
Yeah,
So, and that's one reason to keep practicing because you don't,
exactly.
if you, if you, like the more you do it, the easier to be to always come back, with that. Okay.
I agree.
Um, so we've got a lot here. Hopefully you're awake enough to start doing some writing. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is start with some sentences to help you um, uh, to help with this. So tell me, um, uh, what do you like most about your coach?
Oh, okay. And
And yeah, let's just start with that. Let's start with that one.
So here's what I wrote so far about my coach.
Just a moment here. I'm writing some other questions, but I don't want to dilute what we're doing.
Okay.
Um, right. I like my, is it okay to call her a skating coach? Or is that weird?
No, you can say skating coach.
Because she always encourages me when I'm struggling on a spin or jump that I'm good at, and she always pushes me more because she knows what my capability is. Okay. Um, let's just make simpler since when I'm struggling. Um, for example, if I is it okay to say like I miss a spin or jump? Is
Yeah,
that the right language?
yeah, I
Um,
think that works.
when you say pushes me, what does that mean?
Like she tries to, not like an actual push, but she like makes me basically redo the same thing because she knows I'm good at it. She's how do I say it in a way? She's like, after let's say I do the same thing 2 times, she's like, no, 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 you can do better again. Go do it again. And then maybe after the third time, she's like, that's good. We can stop and we'll move on to something
So I don't
else.
want to call it like trick, but like what is the like general name for a spin or a jump?
It well, you can they're called spins and jumps, obviously. It's just like if I'm telling you a specific type of jump or a spin, it has a name.
Well, what's the broad category of like what is it called? Like movement? I guess maybe movement. That's probably a good
Yeah.
word. On the ice. Um, so this reads weird. She knows that I can do better. Let's keep it simple. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you like? Um, okay. What do you dislike about your coach?
Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna have to think on this one because that's a really hard question.
So the better way to ask this is, what is your coach too harsh on you about?
Mm, okay, yeah,
It's not them as a person. It's just like it and usually like it's a good thing. Like whatever you don't like, it's still a good thing. But it's just like you're like, oh, man, they always like it could be like, oh, they always make me, do whatever.
gotcha.
Like you could sit here with Matthew right here, me, and you could see, just Matthew always makes me type into the chat, and I want to write it on my book. It's not that you dislike me, it's that I'm making you do something that makes you uncomfortable. So that's another way. What does your coach do that makes you uncomfortable? And we're talking about like in the sport.
Okay,
Like
like
it's good for you, but you don't like it. It's easier just to do what you always done.
you see. All right, I just typed something small in the chat and I kind of tried to explain what it is.
Okay, so this is pretty specific, which is good for you and people in your world. I have no idea what this means. So when you say moves in the field, what does that mean?
It's just a bunch of edge works for specific levels and skaters to move up to the next level.
I
Um,
still I
there
still have no idea what you're talking about. So give me and this is good because I don't know anything about skating. So uh when you say in the field, are you referring to the ice, like a literal field? Like what are you referring to here?
it's to the ice. Basically, you know the skaters that skate on Olympic level, they're called senior skaters and they've passed all their levels to make it to senior level basically. There are 8 levels, but I'm not gonna go into detail on all of them. But every single time you move up, the edges get harder and you
So
get
what is
judged in front of a panel of judges.
okay, so what is an example of edge work?
Spirals, that's when you lift your leg up, and would be called outside and inside edges, which is more specific.
Okay, let me try to make sure I know what you're I think I know what you're talking about. Because there's um is it similar? You said you did jujitsu for a while.
No, I did taekwondo.
Taekwondo, sorry. Uh so are there like different levels there that you have to sort of pass through?
Yeah, the highest level you can be is a black belt, and I was a black belt for a while, and I also got judged in front of a panel of judges as well to level up.
Okay. What I'm hearing that is that and just correct, tell me if I'm wrong. Just tell me, like, I'm just going to try to generalize. Okay. Like, you would rather go out and just skate and jump and sort of be a free spirit, but the coach is like, no, we got to go work on like this really specific move over and over again until you get it.
Yeah, it's usually like the first thing we do in the session because she knows if it's the last thing, I'm not gonna do it.
Okay. Uh, and that's exactly what I was looking for here. So, what I'm looking for is like, I want you to make a comparison. I want you to say, um, like kind of like what you love most. Like I love free skating, but and I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm looking for. Something where it's like I just want to get out on the ice and skate. But my coach, well, what does your coach want you to do?
Moves in
But
the field.
my coach wants me to work on specific uh wants me to improve my edge work
Yeah.
to what? Why would you improve? And you said it to um um you said your edge work is needed. This is needed to jump to the next level.
Yeah.
I mean, is this right? Just you can just say no, it's not right. Like that's what I'm asking you. Um, so it's my
Yeah, it
least
looks
favorite.
good to me.
It's my least favorite thing to do, which is why my coach has me do it first when we train together.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, all right. So that's good. That's good here. Okay. So let's go back here. Wrote another question here. Why is skating important to you?
Ooh, okay.
I'll be right back with you.
Okay. Are you back yet? No, okay.
Right, I am back. I do apologize.
It's okay.
Right. So just to make up here, I'm gonna help with this a little more than maybe usual. Um, what I was looking for also, which I'll kind of throw in the as a question here, you don't have to type anything, is um what is I'm really asking for the backstory to why you started skating.
There's not much of a backstory.
Well,
I
come on,
just remember.
there's something. I mean, you didn't just like wander in. I mean, maybe you did just wander in, but I mean, there's always like a, you know, you saw it on
So when
TV or you.
yeah, I've always been interested in skating. My parents tried to make me skate when I was like 3, but that didn't happen because I was a stubborn kid and I cried on the ice, so it didn't work. And we moved to Arizona, and my dad comes up to me. He's like, "Do you want to do ice skiing?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And I started skating in like 2020, so I've been doing it for 3 years, and I like it a lot. I'm having
Okay.
fun.
Okay, so that right there is what you just said is the introduction to your essay. Like I was skating as a kid, I didn't really like it. I cried, didn't want to go. And then we moved to Arizona, and one day my dad came up to me and said, "You want to start skating?" And you're like, "Yeah, I want to start skating." That's that's your introduction to your essay.
Okay, let me type that in really quickly.
So yeah, why don't you give me something, as many words as you can on that, please.
All right, here's what I have written down. I wrote something, yeah.
So good job here. When we pick up and really not we're writing it, we're actually doing this. It's easier. I found it's easier just to ask you questions to get you to answer. Um, we're gonna keep doing this and we're gonna keep turning this into like main points and stuff like that. I'm sure you need a break. So we'll just start back at 10 and we'll keep going on this. If you want, we can switch to something else, or we can just finish this off in the next hour.
Yeah,
It's
we
up to
can
you.
finish this off. Let's just
Okay.
finish it.
Okay. So it's going to be a little bit more of the same thing where I'm going to ask some questions. You're going to write a few sentences, and then we'll work it all together for your essay.
Okay,
All right. I'll see you shortly.
see you in a little bit.